We open up the day on the road going out to Mount Pleasant, Michigan, set to take on the Central Michigan Chippewas, trying to keep our MAC record perfect on the year before we head out to Eastern Michigan to take on the Eagles. Before Kent State, they are coming off a big win where they took down Iowa 28-20. And it was a big game from Mason Kelsay, over 200 yards passing, 2 passing touchdowns, and 2 additional touchdowns running the ball. All the while the defense got after Hecklinski of Iowa and ran our non-conference record to 3-1. But focusing in here on the Chippewas, they've picked up 3 wins this year, including a blowout week 1 against Wyoming. But their losses have not been particularly close, exaggerated by the 65-10 loss last week to number 10 LSU. And now they're set to face our Golden Flashes, coming in ranked this week at spot 23. For Central Michigan, though, this is a home game, and they'll have to rely on their backup quarterback in Luke Weaver, the redshirt senior, who has not had a particularly good year. And while he has been the primary starter this year with Beeman out injured, he's at 156 attempts. He's only hitting on 51% of those, 9 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Despite being a pure runner archetype, he only has 1 rushing touchdown on the year. Instead, they're relying on Ijaboy at running back with 5 rushing touchdowns, as well as Makari Bodiford with 3. Though when they do look to pass, keep your eye out for number 81, the senior in Vanderleest. He and Woodbury tied with 4 touchdown receptions. And on the defensive side, they have 1 clear standout, and that is the senior in Dylan Fontes. And he's not one to let the frame fool you, an edge rusher with 12 TFL, 7.5 sacks. So as we get set to kick things off here in Kelly Short Stadium, we still have high expectations of our Flashes as we're underway. No matter the competition level we face, we want to see big plays and limit big plays on defense, though it will be the offense out first. Kelsay and Smith has been a phenomenal running back here this year, has dealt with injuries, same as Kelsay, but it will be those 2 healthy heading on out to the field at the 23-yard line. They fake to Dupree. Smith gets it quickly on that triple option. He's got a couple defenders in front, and they will finally corral him after the big gain near 20. Coach hopes he can rival some of the running backs in the past, especially Harris last year, about 1,000 yards for him rushing. Brought in Smith as a transfer senior, and if he put forth the same effort in the second half of this season as he did in the first, he could very well find himself close to what Harris did. But it's Tank Hawkins here and tracked well. At most, looks like Tank Hawkins gets back to about a line of scrimmage, maybe about a yard gain. It's 3rd and 5. Kelsay steps up, he'll weave through this defense, taking contact and shucking it off as he makes his way down to the 33. Not one by any means to shy away from contact. Gets the quick throw here to carry him. That'll be a gain of 7 for the big fella. He did have a hurdle for a touchdown in the last game. Seeing if he can make anything big happen here with a pass lofted. It's to Coates, who avoids not only the end zone, but the safety over the top, down to the 1. Sometimes that's just the price you pay, ensuring the catch. Triple option look here, quick flip to Smith, and with the defender out of the back of the end zone, it'll be an easy walk-in touchdown for Kelsay and Smith. Did look like a little shove there late, as Ivan Carrion found himself on the ground. But Kent State opens with a 7-0 scoreline. If you're Coach Ty, you gotta have similar expectations in this one as to Ohio. As Luke Weaver makes his way out on the field, he was harassed quite often last week against LSU. 3 sacks, 3 interceptions. They start with a run, and it's gonna be a pretty good one, picking up 9. Now, of course, the last couple games, Syed Abu-Hamdi, the Mike linebacker for Kent State, has played very well. Not involved on this play, though. Instead, McFarland, he got there first. Roy ends up cleaning it up, and they force a 3rd and 1. It's a heavy set. Big hit, I believe, was Abu-Hamdi. But Weaver able to spin off He picks up the first down for the Chippewas to the 36-yard line. Now they do have quick motion, and they get it out to that motion man on the handoff. Tashi Braceful picks up about 2 as they now go with some triple option themselves. And Botteford will slip by 1, and he's got another first down for Central Michigan. Ground game starting very well here for the Chippewas, though they're going to lose 3. Coach Ty, he brought the blitz. Ingold gets back there as well as Reddish at safety. 2nd and 13. Weaver will look to throw, and a diving grab is needed. It sets up now a 3rd and 2 here for the Chippewas. Again, 82 comes in motion, and nowhere to go. Several defenders in the backfield end the drive of the Chippewas. We'll make our way to the first quarter break from there. 7-0, Kent State is in front here. First drive, the Chippewas showed promise, but they weren't able to capitalize. Moving forward, they're going to have to find a way to do so. And as we jump into the start of the second quarter, we'll be Chippewa possession here, plus side. Weaver on the keeper. In that pure runner, hasn't seen much success running the ball this year. The senior does find a gain of 3 on first down, moving them inside the 40. Looking to go to the air here. It is passed outside and popped free. Rollison. Great job coming from behind and able to just punch it away. Sets up 3rd and 7. Though the blitz is picked up well here until he meets the shoulder of Brenton Bush, taking him down at the 40. Now their field goal kicker, perfect on the season, but this would be a long one, about 57. But it seems like they'll trust him enough here to send him out on the midfield logo. And perfect no more. Central Michigan still with the goose egg on the scoreboard. That's pretty risky, giving us the ball close to midfield, a great starting position. Kelsay here, flips it out late. He's got Smith, gets the juke on the safety, and they flip the field to the opposite 40-yard line. And you do have to give these other running backs stepping into this scheme massive credit, running that triple option. Quarterbacks credit as well. Kelsay and Smith have picked it up very well, more specifically to each of their first seasons. For Kelsay, this is his 2nd year starting quarterback here for Kent State. And they're doing mighty fine this year. As he steps up, he finds a lane down the middle, all the way down to about the 15 before finally dragged down. You can just feel how confident he is in this scheme. Kelsay able to just do what he wants out there because he typically does very well doing it. However, that might be a case of a commentator's curse as Kelsay misses the following pass. So Carrion goes in motion here and flips it out there late. Carrion outside, jukes back inside and will backtrack. Luckily still keeping the 1st and goal, but it looks like there after the play, he's going to make his way to the sideline. He did look rather confused on which way was forward there, so we'll have to keep an eye on perhaps a concussion protocol for him. As another miss past Kelsay, definitely falling victim to a commentator's curse right now. Leaves 2nd and goal. As they go back to that triple option, it's flipped out to Smith, who's looking for the pylon, but not giving it. Ultimately, he was extremely close, but just not quite close enough. So 3rd and goal, they mark it at about the inch line. 3 hands down, and Dupree will get this rushing touchdown. They go to the fullback/halfback 2 for Kent State, and it is a rushing touchdown both trips to put them up 14-0. Looks like even the Chippewa cheerleaders have flipped their alliance. But we jump forward here around 2 minutes to go. Back in possession with a long field in front, though Coach Ty wants a 3-score lead. And picking up 5 on first down is not a bad way to start. Kelsay, though, he's going to step up here again as the middle is vacated. He slides down, 2-minute break hits, and they're up to now the 39-yard line. That's really all you got to do here for Mason Kelsay. Just give him a little bit of space. He will take it. Now, one thing to note, Hassman is out there at receiver, not Ivan Carrion. We'll see if he does make a return at some point. Tank Hawkins slips one, but then taken down. That'll be a gain of 7 for Tank. But for Kelsay, that does have him over 100 completions on the season. And it leaves us with a 2nd and 3 here, closing in at midfield. A little short motion on that right-hand side. That leaves Hassman open outside. He's got the first down, but felt like there might have been more. Unfortunately, this time, we'll just settle for the first down completion. Facing the blitz here, the Chippewas rolling outside. Kelsay chucks this one to Hassman. Tipped away by just the fingertip. Looked like we had another touchdown chance there. But Smith checks in here, Wildcat quarterback. And it looks like he will be getting smacked in the backfield. Coach Ty tries to get a bit fancy here before halftime, instead leaving us with a 3rd and 14. Now they do set up a screen pass here. The couple good blocks, though not quite enough. Timeout called, Kent State. And with a 4th and 4, the offense takes the field. Hard count, no one jumps. Kelsay, though, will snap that ball. And he will break 2 tackles. He cuts to the inside, not able to break away, but what a first down play. Mason Kelsay. That play looked dead out there, and it very much was looking to be a turnover on downs. But he changed things, just as he's done all season, all series long. Throwing outside, there's Hassman. He tried to go airborne, instead suplexed down at the 3. Now they do not call a timeout there as Kelsay checks a few things. Filling in for Ivan Carrion and nearly doing Ivan Carrion things, has him set up. With goal to go here, bunch left-hand side. Open is Tank Hopkins, and that will be one of the easiest touchdown plays for him. Almost all season, if not going into last season long. 21-0 Kent State with a dominant first half concluded with yet another touchdown drive. That'll be where we take it to the halftime break. All Kent State here out here in Central Michigan. They're hoping to make it a good stretch of Michigan games, as not only do they have Central Michigan, then they go on, play Eastern Michigan, and then they look to wrap things up playing Western Michigan. So basically trying to take over all of Michigan with just about 5 games left to play. Chippewas, though, they showed some signs of life in that first half. They just simply weren't able to get those big plays to keep the drives going. And as we look to get the second half underway, they're going to have to hope their defense can give their offense a chance, as we are driving down the field just outside the red zone. Going with some play action and throwing that one just behind the linebacker. Risky throw there, Kelsay just trying to get rid of it, as Crawford from Central Michigan did provide pressure. So still at the 25. And 3 hands down in the backfield, they hand it off to 23, who will look to just find something. That something just being a gain of 1 leaves them a 3rd and long here. 2 spread either side. Kelsay once again gets rid of a wannabe tackler, and he throws into congestion, but what a play made by Hassman. First down, Kent State. They go right back to it. And again, pressure's mounting. The Chippewas know their only chance here is to try to force a mistake, and they're bringing the blitz, leaving them susceptible to some passes downfield or screens outside. Smith breaks 1 before he's picked up and slammed down. However, for Central Michigan, that moves them forward enough for the first down. So 1st and goal here. They set up a little RPO, and Smith will cap off his 2nd touchdown drive. He opened up the game with a touchdown scamper. He opens up the second half with a touchdown scamper, extending that lead to now 28-0. The Chippewas are trying to give their fans something to cheer for here, as the stadium is pretty dead quiet. They have moved down to the 35-yard line. Weaver throws to the flat, but not going to get very far. Ijaboy out the backfield has the grab, but only manages 1. So they'll bring back out Bodiford here with a 2nd and 9. Quick throw is to the outside, getting away from Stockstill, and there's a touchdown for Central Michigan. They break the goose egg here with about 3 minutes of play in the 3rd quarter. And it's tight end Victor Adarungboye. But Coach Ty doesn't want to see him celebrating for long. Offense back to midfield, trying to go back up 4 scores here. Kelsay takes the hit, but does give a clean pitch to the outside, and Smith is close. But he will have to pick up an inch or two more here to convert. And they do snap that ball here. Final play of the third, and there goes Smith with some patient running down inside the 20. We'll have another red zone trip as we come back from the quarter break. 28-7, it has been all Kent State so far in this one. And for the 23-ranked team, they want to keep seeing themselves rise, so they need to keep dominating this competition, and giving up that touchdown probably doesn't feel too good. But as we look to get the fourth quarter underway here, now under the lights at the 17-yard line, we could overcome that touchdown given up rather quickly here. Tank Hawkins on the drag, toe taps but cannot walk the distance. Instead, it's first and goal with play action. Open target outside is Bailey, but so's the pass. That does get him a little bit closer, but you were looking for the touchdown there to the fullback. Finally actually out there. Of course, Dupree's taking over primary role there, but make it a hat trick for Smith. A simple handoff down the middle is an easy walk-in 35-7 lead for the Golden Flash. And to compound the touchdown, it's a turnover on downs for Central Michigan. Looking for the 40 bomb. The offense is right back out here. And a toss-up, it's to Arnold, who drops it. Pretty good pass, though, coming in from Mason Kelsay. Just not able to capitalize right after the turnover on down. So 2nd and 10. They hand this one off. It's Martin, who takes on the safety. But not so much a power back. He doesn't get very far. Gain of 1. A 3rd and 9 here for Kelsay, who throws again outside. This time he overthrows Arnold. So having to come on out here, Curtis, for the first time today. It's not a point after, it's a field goal attempt that's away before the pressure can make its way to the holder. We'll tack on 3, make it 38-7. Frankly, they're just getting desperate out here. They keep the offense out there at the 31 with a 4th and 19. Weaver chucks this one up to nobody. If Syed Abu Hamde didn't leave the middle of the field, he would have had an easy interception. Instead, he went to actually try to go cover someone. Though that pass definitely taken off kilter with the pressure from Elijah Fall. And Fall is exactly what Central Michigan will do. Though give them credit, they did tack on a garbage time touchdown with a garbage time field goal for ourselves. We do hit over 40. But Kelsay Smith, he takes player of the game as he dominated the groundwork in this one. Kelsay didn't do too bad passing, a couple missed throws there. Want to make sure we got those tuned up before we meet any more Power 4 teams. But now it's time we roll on to Eastern Michigan. And today, there's no waiting around. We are straight into it. Our Michigan road trip continues. Now out in Ypsilanti, Michigan, we take on the 2-6 Eagles, looking to keep that steamroll going from the Chippewas right on into this afternoon game. For the first time this series, we're playing on a non-green field, though we aim to paint it blue and gold with a deep kick. Harris will take the touchback. We'll start at the 25 as Kelsay Smith, player of the week against Central Michigan with a .42, 3 touchdowns, takes the field. Now, unfortunately, this is college ball, not professional, so the team did have to travel back to Kent. Luckily, not too far away. As that one is pitched, it will be Smith here, play 1 for 3. I'm talking about the traveling. They did have to travel back out here to Michigan. They'll have to welcome the Michigan team next week as Smith takes it left side for another 3. They're going to need a little bit more than just 3 here on 3rd. 4 needed, and the hard count will go ahead and pick that up with 5 free. And that's thanks to the freshman in Dwight Bowles. And if you get a free play, might as well try to take advantage of it. Pistol look here with a spread. 2 to the left-hand side and play action. Rolling out to the right-hand side. Hassman is open, keeping him well in bounds, though not going to spin by the defender. Good open field tackle, but they flip the field to the opposite 26. Of course, there was a couple players banged up in that last game. Ivan Carrion is back out on the field here for Kent State, which is great. The tall receiver provides a threat over the top as Kelsay loses 2. He did manage to slip between the blocks there on the rush, but was not able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Going back to that triple option here, Smith looks to get north and will pick up 4. This is his longest rush of the day so far at least, but still leaves a 3rd and 8. A tight box here for the Eagles as Kent State will have Tank Hawkins outside, and it's floated beautifully for the touchdown. A smooth sailing drive for Kent State that pins the Golden Eagle of the Golden Flash versus the Normal Eagle of Eastern Michigan. But we will hop on out here with the first defensive drive as well. July, the quarterback here for Eastern Michigan, had trips, quick motion, then goes play action and finds his target. Rollison will have to fly downfield to get that touchdown saving tackle. They went with a shot to the air here out the gate, and it's going to pay off mighty well here for the green version of the Eagles. Down to the opposite 34-yard line. They go a little bit of some play action. Looking for another deep shot, or instead checks to the flat. 32 with back-to-back catches in Kimball. This time just for 5. They're able to hit a big play a whole lot sooner than that of Central Michigan. Facing the blitz, and it's perfectly again designed play to Kimball. Matthew July was only 11 of 26 passing in their previous game, but is 3 for 3 out the gates here. Facing just a 4-man rush, and again picking out their man. This time it's not Kimball though. Instead he finds the sophomore Russ Yassey down to the 5. A red zone trip here for the Eagles of Eastern Michigan, but too high to cap it off there. And he did have his receiver open if he just threw it a little bit lower, perhaps a little bit more inside. 2nd and goal, running back flips to the opposite side, still handing it off, and Gill will try to meet him at the goal line, but steamrolling through him is a beautiful opening drive here from Eastern Michigan. Nakai Amatry to the end zone, and looked a whole lot better than Central Michigan. But of course, with that answer, you know we're going to jump in the following drive here, try to reclaim that lead. Up to the 41 here. Kelsay gets that flip out to Smith, who does not quite weave through, though he did break 2 tackles. The 3rd defender there, able to bring him down, but a gain of 8 as he increases his best run so far of the day. Martin will pick up the first down. It's good seeing him still get some work here in the offense. Was running back 2 last year, now relegated to running back 3. Cutting left side Smith, he's got about 5. It seems like at least right now the Eagles are trying to beg for some shot downfield. They've been stacking the box. They do go a little bit wider here. And that leaves the quick dump off to Coates. Transfer tight end, haven't called his name too much. He's down to the 20 with that stretch. Now, of course, we did see the breakout of Dakota Taylor last year at tight end. A lot more speed than Coates, but he moved on to a new team. Coates has been filling in. A good dual threat at tight end in terms of blocking and receiving. Well, the blocking doesn't quite show up on that play. What should be the final play here of the first quarter. 2nd and 1. Against the blitz, they're going to pick out Hawkins, who will have the first down through contact as that takes us to the break in a tie ball game here, surprisingly, in the first. 7-7. It was a good opening drive for both sides. Kent State in their second drive, steady marching down the field with a heavy time of possession favoring them. And we've seen big pass plays. We've seen more shorter run plays. Nothing quite breaking off yet for Kent State. We'll see how they look to get things started in the second quarter. At the 9-yard line, just shaded inside the 9. It's a heavy set, and Dupree will go in untouched to the end zone. Kent State rightfully back in front here. Now they just need their defense to actually slow down the Eagles of Eastern Michigan. Unfortunately for the Kent faithful, making the long trip over here, it is a fumble on the following possession for Kent State that has Eastern Michigan set up near the end zone, but loses to play 1. Jair Rollison stuck in on the stop there. Leaves second and goal now back at the 9-yard line. Spread look here for Eastern Michigan as they look to set up some routes here. Instead, quarterback breaks, and July will have this game once again leveled up. Eastern Michigan is taking it right now to the number 21 ranked team in the country, despite their 2-6 record with a 7-1. Now, we did see a little bit of a lackluster performance against Ohio a few weeks back. Not trying to see the same effort unfold. They do go with a triple option pitch here, and it is Smith for 4. They want to see a little bit more dominance here from the team that should be dominating this game in Kent State. Kelsay barking out a few calls. Now he's got Carrion going to motion all the way from that right side to the left side. Make that a receiver stack. They snap that ball. Looking to roll all the way out. It's going to be for Tank Hawkins, who can't turn the sideline, but will take the ball inside the 10. A big play coming from number 10 via number 12, Mason Kelsay. Sets us up goal to go. It's Smith. Maybe back to the line. He's seen a lot of carries these last couple games. We're going to see a new man check in. That is Rourke. I'm not sure if he's even on the actual roster. He might be a redshirt freshman, but he's out there right now as Kelsay slips the tackle, and he's got the touchdown. Kent State back in front. It looks like I'm going to have to check a depth chart or two to find out what's up with Rourke and if there's any sort of problems with Joquez Smith. And just doing a quick check over the roster. Does look like Rourke is one of the 4 freshman running backs, but didn't see a delegation on if he was a redshirt or not. The defense does pick up a quick stop, and Smith is back out onto the field here with the offense. Plus side trying to widen that lead here before halftime, but Kelsay misses that throw. Well, it might have not been entirely on him. That was Harris, the target. Looked like he did try to extend the route up the sideline rather than continuing, and that might have been what caused the issue. As Arnold gets the grab here on the drag tight end too. Makes that about a gain of 8, taking us through the 2-minute break and providing a 3rd and 2 with 2 minutes to play at the 26. Triple option here, and Kelsay thought about flipping the ball. It comes out, but apparently whistled down. And frankly, the man in the stripes out there might have just helped out Kelsay, because it did not look like he pitched that one while down. He takes the keeper here, looking to find the pylon. No, spins back in. He's got the touchdown. Another one for him on the ground. This time a pure running play rather than a scramble. And Kent State has finally opened up a 2-score lead here on Eastern Michigan. And it will be with that 2-score lead that we take it to halftime. Give credit, though, to Eastern Michigan. They came ready to play there in the first half. They just started to slip about midway through that second quarter. Their offense slowed down massively. And without their offense providing that pressure, Kent State really has just been able to do what they wanted out there. Defense has picked up about a handful of quick 3-and-outs. And with that, the offense has found their way up here by 14 points, looking to get this second quarter underway. Well, for the Eagle fans here of Eastern Michigan, it's not a great start. 3-and-out again goes their offense, so their defense is once again chasing Kelsay at the 10-5, tracked down at about the 2-yard line. He almost had his hat trick, though I wouldn't put it by Coach Ty to give him one more opportunity here down at the 2. The 1st and goal, Kelsay, the only one standing in the backfield. It will be right to him. Kelsay leans forward, but short. The quarterback power, not quite enough that go. So they bring out the heavy unit here. Now there is an All-American on this defense at nose tackle. Kelsay runs right at him, but he slaps down Norton and slaps down Kelsay. So perhaps might need to change things up here. It looks like Eastern Michigan knows the plan. Karen goes in motion here. They will flip it out to him, but there's not enough blocking on the outside. Tank Hawkins lets his defender through, so now 4th and goal and a massive opportunity here as the offense stays on the field. Flipping that one out is to Smith, and he's going to lose another handful. It's a turnover on downs. Now, if you're Eastern Michigan, this has got to be a touchdown drive here. Get yourself back into this game after the Very aggressive play calling there at Coach Ty. Luckily for Coach Ty, Roy's there for the TFL. It's a loss of 2, play 1. And definitely could have been a penalty, but back on side. And throwing downfield, finding Henry Jones. Oh, great job there from July to just sit back there, take the pressure straight to the face, and still deliver a catchable ball. They go a little RPO here and maybe pick up 2. This is a really big drive for how the rest of this game's going to go. Your defense got you a stop. You're down 2 possessions. You need a touchdown here, and now they hand it off to 32. Kimball, who's had several receptions in this one, now is being put in at running back. He's got to be this team's main man, though. Slot is open. Diving miss. Gill has to take a good angle. Irvin all the way down to the 12, but what a play there from Gill, who did not give up and ultimately got the stop, and it looked like that should have been a touchdown. 1st and 10, and an open gap that closes. Clutch tackle, Bobby Ellington, the transfer nose tackle. About 2 minutes to play here in the 3rd, and that pass is incomplete. Good to see a bit of some interior pass rush coming for Kent State. Haven't seen too much of that this season. It's very hot and cold for them. The 3rd and 8. Pressure back again. This time it hits Elijah Fall with the sack. Back to the 17 here in a 4th and 15. You can take the field goal, but you need touchdowns. Unlike the lineage here of Coach Barrington and now Coach Ty, Eastern Michigan not as aggressive. They will settle for the 3 and hack down this 14-point lead to 11. That will seemingly be the story there of the 3rd quarter. Eastern Michigan just settles for the 3, are still down multiple possessions as we head to the final quarter of play here. Number 21, Kent State on top. 2 possessions versus Eastern Michigan. And as the sun finally sets here in between breaks, under the lights, we look to finish this game off. With the ball in our hands, it's going to be Kelsay looking for another. He's headed down the hashes. Incoming defenders will not catch him. He was denied the 3rd last time. He will not be denied this time. And to open up the 4th quarter, it's another Mason Kelsay touchdown. That doesn't mean Eastern Michigan is going to give things up here. They're going to still put up a fight. Pass across the middle. And breaking a couple tackles, nearly breaking away. Dom Miktovich with a couple broken tackles, and one of the more impressive plays here from Eastern Michigan from a more solo standpoint. As July here finally does throw, will be caught for a gain of 6. Yazzie with his 3rd grab. He has 33 yards, so he's averaging a 1st down and catch, though that one well short. Just 6 yards, and the pressure builds, but not a problem for July. He's sat back there. He's taken hits today, and he's still delivered clean passes. 3rd and 2 here, 4 down territory. They go with a quick throw, broken one. Roy with his back slows him down. And that'll leave just enough time for Ingold to come over to get the stop. Now 4th and 8. Ingold nearly picks it, but instead, the ball falls incomplete. And it's a turnover on downs. We take over at the 36-yard line. Dupree with no blocking down the middle. Well, that is pretty synonymous with how blocking has typically gone for Dupree. Did have 1 game, basically acting as the starting running back. Throwing this one outside, it's to Tank Hawkins. And it doesn't even look like he's engaging the afterburners here. He's just picking up the open room. And even with that, he still picks up a massive gain to the opposite 38-yard line. As Kent State is running clock here. Get that flip out to Smith as he tries to find the edge. And he picks up that 1st down, gain of 13. Not his highest average game, though, 57 yards and about 13 carries. As they fake it to him, Kelsay tracked down as Nair Daniels down on the ground here for Kent State. The starter at left tackle has missed quite a bit of time. He and Norton quite injury prone along the offensive line. Kelsay here is going to take this one. Spin again, and down to the 2. Mason Kelsay's going nowhere but downfield, as that is over 600 yards for him on the ground this season. And he's closing in on 200 yards rushing this game alone. I'm not sure if we have the time left in this one to see that happen. It is 1st and goal here. Keeping that triple option, flipping this one back. It's to Dupree with the flat feet, though. He's got enough acceleration to find that end zone. And with that, we should be looking at the nail in the coffin here of Eastern Michigan. And indeed, that is where we'll leave this one off. No garbage time touchdown. 21 points scored there in the second quarter. Would have been enough to see this game through, but we tacked on a whole lot more. And rightfully so, Mason Kelsay is your player of the game. He absolutely dominated this one. And frankly, for Kent State, they needed it, because the traditional running game with Smith was not quite hitting. Even the triple options to him weren't hitting as big as they've seen in games past. What a game from QB1. And following that game, we land the 4-star DT in Allen Hyman from Birmingham, Alabama. We also welcome in Tyler Stitzer, the 3-star guard from Camden, New Jersey. And of course, with a performance like that, Mason Kelsay's taking home your MAC Offensive Player of the Week. However, it was not enough to take home the National Player of the Week. They give it to Marcus Harris for Washington with 8 catches, 135 yards, 4 receiving touchdowns. You could definitely argue that we got robbed, and that was just Big Ten being Big Ten. And that's also not the only bit of bad news. We were going after Edward Hawk, and we knew it was a tight race between us and Penn State. And ultimately, he did choose to go to Penn State, which was pretty good for us, the fact that we did land Hyman. So we still land a 4-star. Now, it's not the first 4-star to commit to Kent State. Through a quick search, I only found 2 others in the past 2 halves, so this is still record-breaking and historic for Coach Ty. But we will not be bringing in a misspelled version of Canada. Apologies to anyone who has the name Canada, at least as far as I understand. Mateo Canada is how that would be pronounced, but he does commit to Florida, and that was expected. We pulled off of him these last couple weeks because Florida ended up jumping in. Now, we also ended up pulling off here for Beaver, as Alabama has come in very hard for him. So we're okay with that. We narrowed things down, and with the narrowing down, we had some extra points. We put those points into Stitzer. We also put those points into Hyman and a few others, and that's paying off pretty big for us. But we're not out of the woods yet. Jamison Brents, we were putting in as much as we possibly could here. Aspirational goals, we're putting in the +10 with the DM the player. It's just not quite doing enough. So what we're going to try instead is we're going to take these off, and we're going to see if we gain more ground by just simply sending the house rather than perhaps putting a pitch out there that might not be the best. As for Ladarius Cheeks, we are back gaining momentum here, separating from Utah State. However, looks like we are falling well behind here for Marlon Averill, who is a dual threat quarterback. Texas Tech is very much coming in hard here, so this is going to be another race in which we are going to pull off of. It would have been great to land him, but now we need to go back to the drawing board. What we hope to not have to go back to the drawing board is on Rodney Lupke, the tight end. We do have him scheduled for a visit, and that's going to be our next game as Western Michigan ends up heading to Kent State, and we can end our road trip to Michigan. But I think this might be another similar situation here, and where we're really just not quite getting the best of these pitches here with some of those Ds. So we will just flip this to send the house, and hopefully with the visit, we'll find him committed at the end of next episode. The next episode will include 2 of our final 3 games of the regular season, at least. Western Michigan and Ball State. We will have Bowling Green, our rivalry game of this season, in its own episode. Though, if it does end up being a situation where the conference championship maybe is Bowling Green, then maybe we do have a dual episode and it's just back-to-back Bowling Greens. Because as we take a look here at the MAC Conference, Bowling Green is in second place right now. Ohio and Miami of Ohio are both kind of in the race here. But right now it seems like one of these 3 teams we will be facing in the conference championship. It has not been Buffalo's year. They are 2-3 in conference. But make sure you are here for hopefully another episode pretty similar to this, steamrolling through opponents. If you enjoyed how this episode went, let me know. Leave your comments down below. If we liked how quickly we ran through those games, if you have any questions specifically for Coach Ty about anything here to do with this series, let him know down below. And while you're down there typing away, make sure you're also subscribed if you have not already. It's completely free. Hit the bear icon on the bottom right of your screen or scroll down, hit that sub button. And also make sure you're tapping that bell notification as well so you are notified when all these videos go live. Typically, we aim for about 12:30 Pacific time, Monday through Friday. Sometimes it'll vary a little bit, like yesterday with the Giants. But while we're also clicking on things, show some love for QB1 by smashing that thumbs up button. He has been killing it here in his sophomore campaign. We will see you guys next time on Monday, as next week we'll be looking to get into postseason action. Conference championship play will be headed to you on Friday, as long as nothing crazy happens, so knock on wood, cross your fingers. And for the Giants, some other big games coming soon, like the rematch versus the Cowboys.